Welcome to the Social Distancing Podcast. I'm Grayson.
I'm Vinny.
And with us today is our special guest, Nick.
Oh, special guest. I like that.
Very special.
High praise.
Welcome
Special
to the
guest
podcast.
for a special day, Tuesday.
Welcome to my final showing on the podcast. I'm going to die.
Vinny is unwell.
It's been a rough 2 days. Day 2, I'm already ready to throw in the towel. Not going well for me on my end.
Well, so much changes every 24 hours. Right now, it could just be a headache, but like you really might be dead tomorrow night.
I mean, he could have the corona. And we wouldn't know until...
I don't play basketball, so I can't tell you.
Because...
you're...
we don't have any testing, so, you know.
Perfect. Anyways, we should talk about Nick for a second to introduce the audience to him.
Yeah, Nick, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I know both of you two from a past life that we both were just catching up on. That was like legitimately 7 or 8 years ago.
And what is that life?
I don't know how much into your personal lives you guys get on these things.
He's talking about Staples, folks.
Yeah,
a very reoccurring.
That's open. We can talk about that.
For a moment, you can bring up Staples. You know?
We fixed computers together and sold protection and warranty plans together.
The people want to know, and this is valuable information.
Yeah, so that was like what, 2010, 2011, whole different life ago, and then
literally a decade.
Yeah, seriously, right? And then I ran into Vinny like 2 years ago, maybe at like Wegmans in Burlington,
2017.
Massachusetts. I'm sorry, yeah.
And here we are.
Yeah,
and then a lot of Twitter DMs back and forth, and 2 years later, I'm finally on the show. So
amazing how that works.
It's amazing how life works.
Nick, what do you do? Oh, there you go. Go, Grayson.
Oh, I was going to say, so Nick, we've been talking about how we've been working remotely. Are you currently working remotely as well?
I am working remotely indefinitely.
Oh, cool.
So, yes.
Welcome to the party.
Join the club.
Yeah.
It is a great club.
What do you do, Nick?
I do financial planning for a large tech company.
Wow.
Not like one of the exciting ones like Google or
financial
Facebook or anything. Yeah. So I don't know how detailed your audience likes to get on or how in the weeds you want to get on that, but
so much you want to get.
Okay. Well, if you get bored, you tell me when to stop because it's not the most, I think it's exciting. Basically, so we sell software that is related to cybersecurity, and essentially my job is to resource plan where and how we should invest the budgets and people that we have. So for a quick dirty example, and it's pretty cliche, but if we see a lot of instances in like the Northwest and a lot of opportunity to sell two-factor authentication in the Northwest, I'll say we should move resources from the Southeast where we're not selling anything and put them in the Northwest. So I do that, and then I've been doing that for a couple of years now, but part of a larger conglomerate, which I won't get into, but
And has your work been influenced at all by working from home or the coronavirus?
Yeah. So, I mean, in 2 ways, really. One, from like a personal level, the second that this started spreading here, they kicked us all out to the point where, I mean, I'm someone who doesn't like working from home. I don't know about you guys, but I'll fully admit I'm less productive. I need to be in a social setting. I need to have my nice monitors. I need to have a good internet connection and not have to VPN and take forever to download larger files. So I personally don't like working from home, but I'll do it to not be that guy that spreads it or that carries it. But in terms of like the actual business, to be quite honest, this working from home thing is great for us. We sell security and two-factor authentication. And when you suddenly have all these unprepared businesses around the world that typically don't want their employees working from home, that want them in the office, and suddenly they have to keep the lights on, so they have to send everyone home, but they still have to work. Well, suddenly that means you're selling a lot of two-factor licenses. And to be quite honest, it sounds cynical, but it's been great for us.
So you would say you've profited off of the coronavirus?
No, I wouldn't say that yet. I would not say that, but we like to help our customers, if I'm going to give you the tagline.
Very eloquent.
We're protecting our customers from the threat risks that they face.
Very well put. Do you think your social life has been impacted at all, or are you not much of a going out type of person?
I mean, so okay, so like the people that are like going out to bars in Southie last weekend, yeah, that's not my scene really, right? I'm still going to get frustrated with people who aren't taking this seriously, but I wouldn't have been doing that either way, to be totally honest. That being said, yeah, I mean, in terms of gatherings with friends or romantic dates and things like that, there's no way around it, right? I mean, it's one thing to I mean, a typical night out might be, for me, it might be a couple drinks at a local pub, and then you just come back into an apartment and just hang out. But now it's like, what are we gonna do? Like, go for a walk at the park? Like, it's kind of been a, I mean, like we were joking about earlier, so much changes in 24 hours. But you go from having plans one weekend to just being like, well, guess I'm gonna watch Goodfellas again this weekend, and maybe my buddy Nate will come over, and maybe it'll just be me on Friday night. But yeah, I don't think, I mean, people that are joking about being like, oh, my social life is going to be the same. Like, I don't think that's the case for almost anyone, unless you truly just do nothing but sit in your apartment, which more power to you if that's your life. But absolutely.
I know for Vinny and I's part, we actually did go out to a bar with our friend Derek, friend of the pod, member of the pod.
Friend of the pod, all right.
And we actually went out, what was it, 1 or 2 nights before this whole curfew blew up and everything closed. So not to say
that you feel attacked by my statement then? Is that what you're saying?
Not to say that that's a typical occurrence. In fact, to emphasize the point, we actually hadn't really seen each other or gone out or done anything for like weeks before that. So we also would probably fall into the same boat of not really having our social lives too badly impacted by the isolation. The only thing really that has been damaged is, of course, Vinny's psyche. Vinny, any comment on your psyche?
Over here. Losing my mind.
What did you yell at today?
Myself. I made some pretty amateur mistakes today. Working
really?
Alone at home. Yeah.
What'd you do?
Haven't eaten properly, you know?
You haven't eaten properly?
No, I haven't.
I'm the same, man.
I had vegetables last night, if that helps, but not today. Didn't have enough water today.
Look, that's vegetables last night is better than most people.
Yeah, we're gonna all end up like getting scurvy after a couple weeks.
And,
well, I've made a habit of promoting my favorite Eat Fresh solution meal kit answer, which is HelloFresh. I mean Blue Apron. So I will always be getting my vegetables as long as they are still delivering me.
I was going to say
boxes.
There's been no service interruption for that kind of stuff, has there?
Because there hasn't. It's a very fixed supply chain, so like there's not really much volatility in the demand.
Yeah, but so that's a good point, though, right? Because I was just going to make a joke about, well, I would like to be eating vegetables if I could get some at the grocery store, right? But I mean, I'm sure you guys have talked about this by now, but with everyone hoarding everything, which is ridiculous because the supply chains are still intact for most food distribution.
Yeah, and especially with meal kit delivery services like Blue Apron, HelloFresh, Sunbasket, etc. I think that they have contracts with local providers.
So it's all fixed.
Yeah, they have a portion of the product set aside every week.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
I wonder if we look at some of the effects of the virus and how it's going to reverberate through other industries, like
it's kind of proving to be a demonstrator of the effectiveness, the efficiency of these services. And I wonder if it's going to influence a lot of people in the future to
exactly
structure.
I think one of the more fascinating conversations around it, not just with the HelloFresh example, but just what when this is over, how do we go back, right? Is HelloFresh seeing a ton of new customers, and is this really going to change how we consume just food in general, right? Are we going to be going back to grocery stores? Are we going to go back to the movie theaters? You know, I don't know if you guys talked about this already, but you know, if you look at what I think it was Paramount did the other day with putting some of, I think it was The Hunt and a couple other films on streaming for like a $20 rental.
Right.
You know, that's Pandora's box.
Well, the first thing that happened with that kind of industry was I remember there was a service or a piece of hardware that could be installed in a fairly high price ceiling clientele, but they would install these like basically mini projectors or large, normal projectors or small movie projectors, somewhere between the two. And it would basically get installed in your house. And Vinny, you might not remember the name for this product, but I can't at the moment. But it was basically this bougie product that you would install, and it had this box.
So it's like a DRM kind of thing, like it was forcing you to use it. Okay.
Yeah, the box that you had to install that plugged into this high-end projector was basically the equivalency of a movie theater's encryption or whatever. Like it was some sort of DRM, and it was for high-end clientele. You know, a high price point on the system itself, but it would allow you to see theater release films in your comfort of your own mansion. You know, so. Maybe we'll be moving to that kind of like a red box distribution, you know, something like a Netflix where you pay, or even like an Amazon. You know, I mean, we get the movies on Amazon. We just get them on digital release when they come out later. Maybe that will be the de facto standard.
Yeah, well, the functionality is all there, right? I mean, you can already rent movies on Prime. You can, you know, they have the streaming already, but the rental option is there.
And what's to stop them from just saying, well, instead of the movie theater, we're going to release these movies for $20 on Amazon. And if you want to see the movie, you buy the movie, or you know, 24-hour rent the movie the day that it comes out in theaters for $20 on Amazon.
I think there's one big counterpoint to that, and that is the second, or maybe two, the second that you do that, right? And I think this is a smaller impact than
somebody's going to web rip it immediately.
Exactly. Right. So the second that happens, every torrent site has a 4K version of whatever film. Now, we can argue about what the actual impact and how many people compared to an overall movie audience are actually going to rip that. But,
they say that the people who wouldn't have seen it anyway wouldn't have paid for it anyway, or whatever.
The classic. Yeah.
The classic, riposte.
You could apply that to any piracy conversation.
Right. In this case, I actually would probably tend to side with this side of the provide the official means in this case, in that I would personally probably argue that if I had the option to pay $20 to see something on Amazon, 24-hour rental the day that it comes out, or to torrent it 24 hours later, I would probably torrent it.
Okay, so here's a proposal. Are either of you MCU fans, like Marvel guys?
Yes.
Vinny, are you?
Yeah.
Okay, so Black Widow, right? That movie is getting delayed. Almost certainly. I don't know if it's official or not.
Yeah.
A film like that is pre-sold to movie theaters all around the world, right? So you can do it with a film like The Hunt or something like that people probably wouldn't have seen, but now's a good opportunity. Hey, throw it out for $40. But when you have films where your B, C, and D tier characters are grossing $1 billion, then it's hard to make that back on $20 rentals. I just don't think that. I think that price is because we're testing this out. I think
also the studios make most of their money on the licensing. The tickets actually aren't even really profitable for the theater.
Yeah, that's a good point. I just think if Black Widow was going to be put on streaming this weekend, it would be more than $20 to rent.
Interesting point. If it was just me watching it, in that case, I actually probably would skip it. Honestly, I don't think I want to pay more than $20 for me personally alone to watch a movie. Now, if I was watching it with friends and we each pitched in, I could understand it being more than 20, but that would be a hard sell, I think, for just a solo watcher.
Yeah, I would agree.
So, Vinny, do you have any other topics you'd want to bring up, or any other
day at all? You didn't
points?
Ask me what I did today.
I asked you what you yelled at today. Yeah,
I didn't yell at anything today.
You yelled at
Vinny screwed up today.
I got some good news last night when I found out my boxing gym was open, so I signed up for a class today.
Spreading the pandemic.
I don't care. I'm young. I don't care. So
is it still open today?
I went today, but I unfortunately did not prepare my body for it enough. And afterwards, I'm not feeling too hot or feeling too good. Feeling a little worn out, tired.
You would say the isolation is getting to you?
No, I feel like the lack of hydration is getting to me.
Do you think you have a dry cough?
No, I do not have COVID-19. I promise.
Well, there's only one way to be sure. Wait until you get hospitalized.
Join the NBA.
Vinny, how many people were in your class?
Like 15.
That seems like a lot of people to
They spread it out. They spread us out. Social distancing.
You had your 6 feet.
Yeah, every other bag they do we at, whatever.
Okay.
Gotta work out. I gotta stay fit so I can go to sleep at night. I gotta unload all this energy, exert it all.
Pounding those 8-pound weights at your desk isn't doing it for you no more?
No, it is not doing it for me at my couch, unfortunately.
I can't imagine why.
What did you do today, Grayson?
My day. So Yeah, I mean, my day was pretty average. I sat at my desk, did some work. I was waiting for my boss to actually, check in on me, follow up with some stuff. I actually needed to go over some stuff with him, but he was working on a proposal all day, so I actually didn't get to go over the stuff that I wanted to. And this is kind of one of the symptoms of this whole working remote thing. He says to us, his employees, I'm working on a proposal for an RFP. I'm going to be doing that. And normally, we would be able to go knock, knock. Hey, I have an issue. Can I get your ear about this thing for maybe two to 5 minutes? That's not going to, ruin his whole day just to do that. But in this case, we came to him and said, hey, I got a thing about this. Can we review it? And, I feel like he's more inclined to say, no, I'm busy doing this thing. And I don't really know whether to imply that he wasn't really doing it and he was slacking off, or maybe he was at that moment and he was really in on it or whatever. But I would hesitate to say that I've seen him work on a single thing for 8 hours continuously and not have a few minutes for us. So that would be one of the small influences that I've noticed, and I don't really know whether to make heads or tails of. But
does your boss have children by any chance?
Yeah, he has one.
Okay. Is he like a school-age child?
It is a school-age child.
Yeah. The only reason I ask is because I've had very similar interactions with my boss, right? I mean, she's all over the place. I'm getting emails from her at 5 a.m. and I'm getting emails from her at 10 o'clock at night. But when I need to ask her something at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, nowhere to be found. And I think that's just the effect of having kids home all the time, right? And it's as a parent, you don't want your kid. I mean, this is probably the greatest thing ever if you're 12 years old, right? But as a parent, you don't want your kid in front of the TV playing Fortnite 8 hours a day.
Oh man, what a heaven that would be, though.
Yeah, right.
No, I would hate that. I actually don't like Fortnite.
Well, okay, swap out whatever game that you played when you were that age, right?
Right, Minecraft.
Yeah. Are you that's a good question, Vinny? Are you still a huge Minecraft guy?
Occasionally.
Vinny played back in the alpha. I remember him trying to sell me on it 10 years ago.
Occasionally.
He's like, it's $20, but it's actually $24 because you have to buy it in euros and there's a conversion rate.
We actually play on a server that we have.
Oh, nice.
It's been pretty dead lately because everybody, I think, is doing other things or got bored. Yeah. We do technically have a server with the city.
Are you guys the RTX Minecraft guys now? Or are you just?
I don't think that's released.
We do Bedrock Edition.
Okay.
With crossplay.
Oh yeah.
No, RTX is out. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I
have a 2060, so I have an RTX card, but I don't know how to access that.
Interesting. I mean, I just think it's hilarious, the idea of playing Minecraft with RTX. But hey, that community will figure out will dream up anything.
I think it's pretty funny. Yeah. I mean, if you've seen the tech demos for it,
it's insane.
It definitely proves it. I mean,
yeah,
it's legit.
I mean, there's so few games that really take advantage of RTX right now that you need something like Minecraft just to be look, you guys aren't thinking big enough. Think of a game where it's just your typical block style, right? Or what everyone knows the Minecraft style. You don't need to explain it.
Voxels.
Yeah, there you go. And just blow your minds with lighting reflections. But at the same time, you kind of need I mean, I don't want to get super technical here, but you need kind of a beastly machine to run that at that point.
Yeah, especially with the RTX.
Yeah.
So I would also say the only other thing really that happened to me that was interesting today was I made a Blue Apron meal. Got my my meatballs, turkey meatballs, and a teriyaki kind of a sauce with bok choy and carrots. Pretty tasty. So I got my veggies. Nick, what are you doing for meal kits or for food, grocery shopping? What's your kind of routine there?
So I have had varying degrees of luck. I'm not a meal kit guy. So I live by myself. I have my own place. So I find myself, and not that I shouldn't try it, but I find myself, I did the trials for the meal kits and I find the portions just don't make sense for how I operate. I'm typically I go to the grocery store on Monday and then meal prep for the week, but it's impossible to do when you go to Wegmans or Shaw's or wherever and proteins are cleared out. So I'm kind of just all over the place. Yesterday I bought a package of turkey hot dogs. Yeah. Never had turkey hot dogs in my life. I don't know if I'm going to like them, but I needed something that had protein in it.
So you're still kind of running on the food reserves that you had?
Yeah, there's a lot of like Trader Joe's frozen foods that are always in my freezer. So I've been going through those, but like you can only eat so many Trader Joe's dumplings and Trader Joe's like Mandarin chicken before like it's like, okay, I need some fresh sustenance.
Yeah, I would be interested in seeing how long it does take for the supply to catch up with the empty shelves currently.
Well, it depends, right? So certain things like I think like something like a frozen food, right? Things that like people are just like chicken nuggets, right? Take that example. If you probably buy chicken nuggets, you have kids, they're frozen, they're easy to get, easy to cook. But like you go to Wegmans, you won't see a single bag of chicken nuggets because everyone's stocking up on them.
Right.
So when everything does come back, though, like we talked about, the supply chain's intact. So I think you'll probably see just chicken nuggets everywhere. It's overflowing, or just people aren't buying it anymore because their freezers will be stocked up with that stuff. Same thing with like toilet paper, right? I mean, the toilet paper is not going to go bad. So toilet paper sales are crazy right now, but
I don't think they're going to ramp production though. Probably.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a good question, right?
I feel like they wouldn't ramp the production. They'd probably know that it's just a boom, and they would keep it steady with the same production they're at.
Yeah, it comes down to how people's buying habits change when this is over.
Or how attentive the suppliers are to the boom in demand. And if they think it'll last a long time, then they maybe might ramp up production. Then we'd have a surplus, and that would be really interesting.
Yeah, but does anyone know how long this is going to last? Right? I mean, at this point, if you're making toilet paper, if you're running Scott toilet paper, you're probably ramping up.
But we're not actually in an increased usage ratio of toilet paper. So it's just going to be a boom and then a lull. So
yeah, and there's just going to be warehouses full of toilet paper.
I feel like they know that though, which is why I would assume that they wouldn't ramp production, because they probably know that this is a temporary boom, unless they're trying to meet the temporary spike in demand created by the lack of stock. So like maybe they just need to boost a little bit just to fill the stock back up, and all those people who stockpiled, they're just going to be fucked either way.
Yeah. I mean, it brings up an interesting conversation just around manufacturing in general, and that you would think that an efficient manufacturer, I don't know, I'm just going to keep using Scott toilet paper as an example, even though it's been talked about to death, but you would think that they don't really have much headroom just the way they're set up, right? You would think that to ramp up, they would need to hire, they would need to expand facilities, they would need to, like, you don't operate a business not at peak efficiency, I guess would be my point, right? They would plan their factories,
you think they
plan their raw materials. I think they can, but I don't think it's as easy as just being like, okay, we're going to make 20% more, unless it's like an overtime thing. Unless
I think it would be an overtime thing.
Okay. But a lot of, so unless they're already running like around the clock, 3 shifts kind of manufacturing style, then I don't think it's an overnight thing. But yeah, it probably might be as easy as we just need to buy more raw materials and we need to pay overtime.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting point. I think we'll see. It'll make it self-evident as we go forward. Any final thoughts, Vinny or Nick?
My final thought is if you're working from home, be sure to hydrate and eat properly.
Hydrate,
you don't want to turn into
Vinny's
this
mistake.
where you just feel
hydrate or
like,
dihydrate.
Yes, that is my final thought.
Vinny, how is this? Are these health issues like? Is this brand new today, or is this been a coronavirus?
This is immediately following my gym class I took.
Okay. So there's a cause and effect.
Yes,
okay,
there
so
is
it's not
I don't have COVID, I promise.
You should have done your prep and your post-workout nutrition.
I didn't think about it.
You got to get some of that powder that hypes you up, and then
like the caffeine.
No, I would never
powder
take that
just
before class.
No. They got pre-workout mixed drink mixes.
I'll just stick with water.
It's like the reverse of Gatorade. I don't know.
The reverse of Gatorade?
Yeah, it's like pre-workout instead of post.
Yeah, it's just caffeine.
I'm all
like
set.
a lot of it.
I'm all set.
It will make you.
I'm just gonna drink water and Pedialyte. That is what I'm gonna do.
Do it.
Yeah, I've never found the benefits of Pedialyte, but I'm jealous of people who
I find the benefit of Pedialyte. It's much better than Gatorade.
Yeah, after drinking, like it will cure your hangovers. Well, interesting. Okay,
I'm a bitch with hangovers, so it doesn't cure me.
Yeah.
So I don't drink a lot anymore. I don't like hangovers. It's just not worth it.
It's not. It's really not.
It's very true. As you get on in years, it only gets worse.
Oh my God, seriously. And it happens so quickly too, right? When I was 25, I was like, I still got this. And now I'm like, oh my God.
Nope.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on the pod.
Thanks for having me.
Another one for the books. And hopefully we'll all stay healthy and happy and productive in our society. Hopefully it doesn't get much worse.
I hope so.
It can always get worse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, on that note, I've been Grayson.
I've been Vinny.
And I've been special guest, Nick. I really like that special guest.
Oh yeah. Special guest for a special Tuesday.
Thanks,
Stay
guys.
sanitized. Stay sanitized, my friends.
Great.
Wash your hands.
Bye. You can open it up now, Grayson. It's been 13 seconds.
What, am I the opener?
I told you I'm dying right now.
Am I
can't
allowed
do
to
the
talk
opener.
yet?
Not yet. He's gonna do the
No,
opener.
don't talk until you're introduced.
I'm dying, so you have to do it.
All right, fine, I'll open.
What the fuck? Open the fucking show.
I just, hold on. Sorry, I was trying to think of a good one. All right.
Jesus Christ.
All right, ready.
Ready for fucking do it.
Just shut up. I'm getting a clean take.
This looks really bad to Nick right now. Fuck.
It's fine. We'll cut it in post.